This is the English and English podcast from englishandenglish.net. That's Eric.
That's Brett.
We're going to get this thing started.
We're going to do our Google searches. I'm a
Your
little
Google
stiffy, so stiffy.
You're a little stiffy,
I'm
are
a
you?
little stiffy. I'm
Well,
a little
sir.
stuffy, so I may sound like a weird old man.
That may just be him being a weird old man.
I could just be becoming old.
Mm-hmm. It's not
Trending
stuffiness.
searches.
It's just the decrepitude of age.
Amazon Prime Day. Oh, that's coming up. Have you heard
What
about
is
that?
this? No.
It's,
Let's do a shameless, non-paid plug.
Well, we can do a plug. I'll put a link in the
It's true.
description.
We do a...
where if you sign up for Amazon Prime's free 30-day trial, I'll get $3.
Yeah, well, there you go,
There
folks.
you go. So use the link in the description.
We do the Amazon
But
account, which gets us money and costs you nothing extra
Right.
on Amazon. Just helps
And
them drive traffic.
Apparently, Prime. You know what Prime is, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, they're having Prime Day coming up, which is some sort of day of huge deals. It's just to get people to sign up for Prime, but maybe the deals are actually going to be awesome. I don't know. It's saying
Right.
more deals or better deals than Black Friday.
Right,
So it's on July 15th.
So it's them trying to prime the pump in the middle of the
Right.
summer.
So
instead
and
of
if you want to
just
see
in
what the
the
deals
fall.
are, sign up for the free 30-day thing, and if they're shitty, then you just don't.
You know,
continue
actually,
it.
this is funny because I did sign up for Prime recently just because I ordered a bunch of stuff at once.
Yeah, so
And
it was
I was
worth
like,
it for
I'll
that
take
one.
30-day trial and then kick off if I don't need it anymore.
But then you started watching the show.
Yeah, I started watching all the shows and stuff. Yeah, so who knows? Maybe I'll keep it.
Well, I keep it because I get like dog food alone on there, and
Yeah, there are a
free
lot of
shipping,
things, yeah.
free 2-day shipping, and like I have a credit card that gives me 5% cash back.
It's basically like
Amazon.
joining Sam's Club at that point.
Right,
You
exactly.
pay a fee,
It's like Sam's Club.
and like normally the part that's inconvenient about Amazon and other things is the shipping. But if you're paying a membership fee and now you no longer worry about shipping, you can hunt around for the cheapest deals on the
and
internet.
they're usually cheaper there. And then it's not even the shipping is one thing, the shipping costs, and then the time, but it's free 2-day shipping. So
Right.
you need something quicker than even stuff that you would just go to Walmart if you can hold out for even a couple days.
Right, yeah.
And then I get
I mean, like regular stuff like dog food that you're going to
That's what
buy
I mean.
every month, a bag.
shampoo and everything.
Right.
And they also have a
You
program.
don't have to do a run to the store
if you're
anymore.
looking, if you keep it, they have something which I don't even think you have to be Prime for this, but it's called Subscribe and Save. Where if you have at least 5 things that you
buy
put on a
every month.
well, it doesn't even have to be every month, but it has to be
Some
a recurring
frequency,
order. They have to 5 things have to occur at the same month. So it can be
In the
every
same
3
order.
months, but it
Right.
has to be the same month. And you get 15% off all of it if it's
So if you buy like a
subscribed.
bottle of shampoo, a pack of razors, and
toilet paper,
toilet paper
my
rolls.
girlfriend gets toilet paper on there and everything.
Yeah.
Or like they have snacks and energy drinks and shit on there too. Where you get 15% off.
Yeah. Brave new
So
world.
that's interesting. Yeah.
No one will ever leave their house soon. They'll be like,
Right.
why don't I have a social life? Well, not that anyone had a social life by going to the store anyway.
Right.
That's the, despite my joke about it being shut-ins, that's the great lie. Like, everybody's like, nobody, all these things, they never go to the store. It's like, who were you talking to at the
You
store to
pick up chicks
begin
in the
with?
stores.
Yeah. You can, but how many guys were actually doing that?
Probably not many.
Right.
Yeah, there's not much else going on in the news.
The news is not
Just about
fraught
some
with intrigue
sports.
and interest.
Some guy named El Chapo escapes. Oh, I heard about this. He's a Mexican drug lord who escaped from a Mexican prison. Pretty
So
cool.
he bribed someone, is what they're
I
saying?
don't know. Let's see. I like all the prison escape
Meaning
stories.
someone held the door for him
I
because
always
he paid them?
root for them.
Well, I understand the basic instinct to root against the great machine.
Also, I
at
don't
this
think
point.
drugs should be illegal. So
Well, yeah, but also
I don't see them as being criminals. I mean, I'm sure they do a
well,
bunch of
these
other
guys,
stuff.
I would argue against that for like the Mexican drug cartels. Now, the problem is the Mexican drug cartels would probably not be as brutal and vicious as they are. They wouldn't even exist if it was legal.
There's no tobacco
But
cartels.
these aren't nice people.
Unless
These
you
aren't.
count,
Yeah.
like,
Well, that's what's
Philip
funny.
Morris.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it does take a decidedly different bend, but that is funny.
Oh no, I'm playing
Oh,
it
no.
now. I didn't mean to play. Don't listen. We're not getting any money for this.
Close that tab, man.
Oh shit, something's happening. My computer's going nuts.
Oh, noes. Well, anyway, like the Mexican drug cartels, stuff like that, these are not nice people, even if drugs shouldn't be. Like, these are the kind of people who do something nefarious, even if drugs were legal. They
Yeah.
just go on to something else where chopping people's heads off got them the advantage.
Possibly.
But
they might not be rich and
But, right, exactly. They might not be rich and powerful because
Maybe
of it.
doing
And-
low-level, like,
and it's-
kidnapping schemes and stuff.
Right. Well, and also it goes to show, like, all you got to do. It's so funny to me when you look back at something like prohibition in this country, alcohol prohibition in the
Right.
20s. It sets the template for everything. You look at stuff and like they can't put two and two together. Like, yeah, alcohol used improperly or too much creates a lot of problems with people. And when it's legal, there are problems such as drunk driving and stuff.
Right.
However, the problems caused by it being illegal were so much more sharp and violent
And
than
also
the problems
like
caused.
drunk driving don't go away. That still happens. When
Well, right, exactly. They didn't go away. They just got more underground, and it became harder to deal with because there weren't, like, in the light.
And
also
created a criminal class, too.
Right,
That's
yeah.
existing just because that's...
And also, it made a whole cadre of people who were willing to shoot over the money they could make off of... Now that alcohol's legal, how many gunfights are there about alcohol sales and distribution?
There's no like gangsters
There's
shooting
no gangsters
it out
shooting out tires
Yeah.
and stealing giant...
They're doing it for drugs now.
But they're doing it for drugs now, exactly. So, like, fancy how that works. Like, yeah. Even people who... Even when you admit and say, like, hey, a lot of these drugs, probably not good for people. I don't think people should be on meth. I'm ambivalent about marijuana and stuff. Like, I think it's probably overblown. And everyone's like, "Did I get the reefer madness?" and everything like that. But, certain things, especially a lot of the modern, like, synthetic drugs, are really nasty. However, still, like, you wouldn't have shootouts over them,
right?
If they weren't illegal substances. The fact that they can command so much money because they're illegal makes them worth killing over. And it's like, no, Jim Beam is not getting, raided by Bacardi right now.
Right.
So that their cartels can have a monopoly in the
Take
area.
over their share.
Right.
Here we go. Conor McGregor. Yes, the UFC 189 was this past weekend. It was amazing.
I have not seen that one.
There was like, I won't tell you the results then, but there was like 4 or 5 just like epic fights.
Yeah.
Especially the welterweight championship fight between Robbie Lawler and Roy McDonald was crazy.
Gotcha, check it out.
So I won't give you the details.
Yeah, we'll have to unfortunately cut that saucy talk short so that I'm
Right.
not spoiled. But I'm sure it'll be a few days past by the time this reaches the ears of our audience.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And here it says Batman versus Superman trailer. I'm still think this movie's gonna be crap.
Now here's what I saw. They released this trailer and they had a hidden leaked footage of the Suicide Squad trailer.
That's next on the list. That's number 6.
Right, yeah. So, those both from Comic-Con in this past several days, within the past week by the time you guys hear this.
Deadpool trailer, too, apparently.
And Deadpool trailer, yeah. Anyway, on the Batman, Superman, and the Suicide Squad. The Batman, Superman trailer actually made me feel a little bit better about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, the first trailer gave me just, like,
Well, there's not much in it.
There's not much in it.
I just think the premise is stupid.
Well, the premise is one that's been done in the comics before.
Yeah, but the comics can just get away with stuff that the live movies can't.
To an extent, yes. But not only that, the problem is in the comics that they pull from for that premise.
Yeah.
They are the comics that I understand why they were iconic. Like it was Mark Millar, I think, who did like Batman, The Dark Knight Returns thing. But basically, it was like the only reason that comic book was so beloved is because it went the 180. For many years, through the 60s and everything, the comic books had to be so cheesy because of all the codes and restrictions and censorship. So finally somebody like, we're going far the other direction. This ultra-nihilistic Batman is going to fuck Superman up by punching him in the face with atomic fists.
Yeah, like a kryptonite brass knuckles.
Right, yeah, like, you know what, Superman, you've been a Boy Scout this whole time. Fuck your dick. And, like, punches him, and it's kind of fun in like a childish way, but like Batman could beat up Superman because he's just the bestest.
Right, yeah, it's retarded.
But it also was just the most nihilistic and grody version of Batman, when I don't like. Like Batman's always been dark.
Right.
The darker of the two characters, obviously. But like this whole universe, like I said, this new trailer actually made me think it looks pretty good, and some parts of it are fun. But like, and it's an okay take on the idea. But it's also just such a dour take, on the idea, like, oh, Superman, nobody trusts him, and because he's a big, powerful alien, which that would probably actually happen.
Yeah.
But there's like no. The main thing, I can just sum it up right here without having to do anything about the acting or anything,
right.
which I think they probably picked all fine actors and stuff. It's just that when you look at that trailer, everything is gray. It was the same problem with the first Superman movie. You go to Krypton, those early scenes in Krypton, everything was gray for some reason. And it's like, why is your idea of an advanced society like dead
drab,
and colorless and drab? Like it just implies an overall tone that they're going for is... Now, I can understand that DC wants to be a little bit different than Marvel, and so they want to do a bit more epic and a bit less fun than like the Marvel movies. But seriously, come on, it's a freaking superhero movie,
and it's the most ridiculous of all the superheroes. ridiculous.
Right, yeah, it's the one whose powers ignore all bounds of logic, and exceed
and
every time he needs to be stronger, he just is, It's not like
an unlimited list of powers that are just the greatest in every category.
Right,
he's like as fast as the fastest one, as strong as the strongest one, he's invincible, he's got laser vision.
Yeah, exactly. And apparently there was a whole race of his people that somehow managed to die out, even though, like, if they just found the right sun, they become indestructible.
Right.
And then his people, that was a weird part in that show, they're like, oh, we're going to convert Earth into a red sun-like planet just because, it hurts getting converted to this superpower.
Right, like, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Like, for a few weeks, you gotta sort
Right, now I can understand them showing up and being like, we're being turned to gods here, we're going to take over this planet, screw these humans.
Right.
But him being like, oh, this power's just... I coughed a little bit. Turn on the atmosphere scrubbers and let's make this a place where we can breathe like mortals again. Like, you were invincible! Like, freaking unstoppable. What the hell?
Exactly.
Yeah, a few holes in its logic there. I mean, every movie does. But anyway. Now, the Suicide Squad trailer made it look as bad as I feared it was going to be.
Yeah, like all like hipstery and shit.
Yeah, it's just like everything is tattoos in that movie. Like, their idea of updating the Joker, updating the costume, it's just giving them tattoos. Like, Harley Quinn, tattoos. Joker, tattoos.
I want to watch this now.
Yeah.
Where is it? Let me pause this and watch this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look terrible, trailer. It's kind of, like, unexplanatory, but it seems very bland. And, like, to me, what is interesting about the characters Harley Quinn and Joker is, like, they're... basically the best version of those characters, like the Batman Dark Knight series was good with Heath Ledger, like that was a very good take. But like the cartoon with like Mark Hamill doing the voice of the Joker, that's iconic to me. Just because it perfectly encapsulates, like just what's cool about the Joker is that he doesn't do evil because I'm so tortured inside. Right. Just because I don't care. It's like it's just like killing 30 people right now. It amused me today. Like it was just what amused me.
Oh, here, let me see if I can find this trailer.
All right,
I'll pause this and watch it if they. All right, just a second. I'm gonna pause it and watch the trailer and give my thoughts. All right, so the what?
Superman trailer later. I'd watch that again.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was just gonna say, I guess I never really knew the actual premise of the Suicide Squad comics. I always thought it was like
it was on again, off again.
Oh, I'd never actually read them. I guess I just assumed it was like an evil version of the Justice League or something. But I guess they're supposed to be working for the government.
Yeah,
or something.
the government. The Justice League was not controlled by the government.
Right.
So
I thought it was just a group of like Evil League of Evil or whatever.
No. It was the Suicide Squad was villains caught in jail.
Like, instead of letting you rot, if you want missions, they're basically a suicide
missions against other superpowered beings or governments or something like that.
Cell or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like we'll get you to go do something that is illegal for the government to do,
and
so we can't do it.
Anyway,
and you'll probably die doing it. So it's an okay premise. Like the comic premise.
Because then there's always got to be the overhanging thing of are they just going to like say fuck you and do
whatever they want, or they know they're going to certain deaths, so their only way to get pardoned is to try and do it, but it's probably going to kill them to do it. You know,
so they could either just try and escape and then not get pardoned, or try and do it.
But it's just like what I was saying. Like it seems like their idea, like the trailer's not bad. It's doesn't tell you much.
It just shows a bunch of short clips,
and it's basically like their idea. Right, so it could be okay, but their idea of Joker, like they show a lot of scenes of Harley Quinn in there,
right?
And all she is she's got blue hair and red lipstick, and she's got tattoos. Like, what a superhero costume! What a supervillainess costume.
Well, they're trying to get towards not really like superhero costumes per se.
It's right, but I mean, still, it's less interesting to me.
Yeah, like it is. But we'll see what they do.
I mean, I know you have to make it a little more realistic because most of the costumes were drawn in comic books in ways that you can't make real fabric.
Or doesn't look cool.
Doesn't look good in real pearls. Yeah, that's how it goes. You always got to modify things.
Kind of like in Dragon Ball Z, like their hair would not look good.
God,
live action,
terrible.
Just looks so stupid.
Right? Yeah, there are a few attempts to do so have looked retarded. You know, just looks god awful. Certain things just don't translate like that. Yeah. But I mean, it's just like, but yeah, I guess it's just a different take. It's like everything's like the thug take. Like she's just like. Now she's walking around with a baseball bat, like, I'm just this, street hooker who's doesn't take no shit. Like, is that what the character was supposed to be? It's not even that I particularly cared about that character. It wasn't like one of my favorites, but I don't know.
It's funny. Interesting.
Yeah, and it's also funny too to see in that trailer, like, what's his name?
What is his name? Jared Leto?
Not Jared Leto. Will Smith. Kind
He's
of like
in
a... Yeah, he's the guy who said, so we're the Suicide Squad, huh?
Oh, okay.
He plays Deadshot.
Interesting that he doesn't seem like
But he doesn't
likes
seem
to
that
take
big a deal. Yeah.
small role. You
Yeah,
know
it
what I
seems
mean?
like... Yeah. I mean, he's in a cast of like 16 people, so he's playing like... But I guess he's like the nominal leader of the group in the comics, you know.
Oh,
like,
is he?
Yeah, like he's the most experienced of the... He's the guy... He's basically, in DC Comics, Deadshot is a villain version of Hawkeye.
So the Joker is in this group, though, I guess?
No, what they're thinking is if it follows some other comic storylines, their job is to get the Joker.
Because I was just going to say, like, even in the comics, he would never be in any
No,
sort
no.
of
He
group.
would never
Like,
be in a situation
he'd
where
be
somebody
totally
told him...
uncontrollable,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or he could play along with it
Well, that's
just
what I mean,
to
but he would
stab you in
never
the back.
just... Yeah, he would be totally not smart to have in the group.
In one of the comic books, the storyline was they had to get at the Joker to get information out of him that the government needed about something, you know, that I don't... So they're presuming that maybe that's the premise, that they... You know, Batman keeps defeating the Joker, but they want him to kill him.
Yeah.
You know, like... Because Batman won't, or something like that.
That's funny. Well, speaking of movies...
Yeah.
My girlfriend had read this article on the movie blog that she reads about, like, how Ernest Scared Stupid was like one of the most unintentionally terrifying movies of all time.
It is scary when you're a kid.
Yeah,
Kids are getting turned into like
It's
statues.
like this really like slimy looking troll thing.
Right, it's turning kids into like little
one of my
statues
friends
and
was
stuff.
saying how there was this particular scene where the girl's like checks under her bed and there's no monster and she turns around and the troll's laying in bed next
Right,
to
yeah,
her.
like all
and
creepy
that,
stuff.
like, yeah, and that like haunted her dreams. And so they watched it the other day, and then all I remembered from the movie before I watched it again like a day or two ago. I mean, I remember general premise, but
right.
I thought she'd seen it because I always said like Miak when I meant milk. I was like, we're gonna buy some Miak.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought she would. I thought she knew
the reference.
Doing,
yeah,
but I guess she just thought I was being retarded.
What was that?
Because that was when he thought that like there was in the book it said that like milk hurts the trolls,
right?
But it's all like torn away. And so this is M-I-blank-K, and he's like, what could it be? It's like to hurt the troll you need, and he's like. Must be authentic Bulgarian Miak.
Yeah, exactly. He goes hunting for some rare,
like... the troll comes up to him later and he pulls out this weird, like, looking little jar and he's like, Miak! He's like, you'd bet you didn't think I'd be able to find any this time of year.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah. I've watched it not too long ago, too. It's
so fucking
the Ernest movies are
so dumb.
But...
Like, I guess because I just watch... Like, most of the time, even other movies that I watched as a kid and, like, are just stupid kid shit now.
Right,
I can't help but laugh at this stupid shit.
No, like, there's a few like that, like Three Stooges or whatever, that there's still just some dumb humor that hits you in the funny bone nonetheless.
Like Ernest Rides Again.
Right, yeah. Yeah, Ernest... well, there's a lot of stinkers in there because there's a lot of straight-to-DVD ones.
Yeah, but they're all the same type of shit. They're
Jim
all bad,
right.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. They're all bad, but Jim Varney holds up is the thing. Even if the movies don't hold up, he holds up as like a comedic, you know, like goofball. Right, yeah. Authentic.
They're just so weird and stupid. I'm like, why am I laughing at this?
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Ernest goes to camp and Ernest
that
goes
was
to
the
jail.
first one, I think. Someone was
Camp was the
me
first one, I think.
That apparently he was in some
TV
car
show
commercial.
Oh, really? That's how he got started.
And they were like kind of like the family Automart that we're used to. That they had like Goofy. They got this guy and like this guy's funny. And they put him in the movie.
Huh? I had not heard that. I knew he was on some TV show where it was like, "What's up, Vern?"
But that was after he became Ernest character, I think.
Well, no, that was where the Ernest character started. Then he got
but I mean, then they made the movies. But I'm saying apparently how he got into that was it
kind of the same thing as like Larry the Cable Guy, where he started out doing radio call-ins as a character.
And just being goofy.
He was just a comedian who made up the character Larry the Cable Guy. It's not his real name. And then he would call in character to some radio shows in the Central Florida area, I think. And they would get him in every week or every day eventually. And then eventually he just got so popular he started doing tours.
Oh, yeah, shit. I think I remember. Isn't he the one who had like a song that was like, turn my double-wide trailer into my personal party barge.
Yeah. Gonna get drunk and get naked.
Jump off the garage.
Ready for the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink here real quick.
That was hilarious, yeah. So the Ernest movie was stupid and yet funny.
Yeah.
But I always say Miak. And I think I do that with more things than I realize, and everyone just thinks I'm completely insane.
Making references to movies they never saw.
It's not even like a quote. It's like saying Miak instead of milk. They're like,
just because there's a movie where somebody says something funny or weird, and you just repeat it.
Bulgarian Miak. It's gotta be what it is. I don't even think it showed what was in the jar. I thought I remembered it being some sort of like goop.
Yeah, it was like a paste.
But I don't think it didn't show anything. He just has like this little almost like a honey jar with like the clasps
right, yeah, exactly.
on it, like
it's
a ceramic
an old
jar.
Honey jar.
Right, and it said
Bulgarian
yak. Pitch, you didn't think I'd be able to get any this time of year. Like it's out of season or something.
Right, yeah, exactly. You had to drop ship it before there was Amazon.
But I don't know. I thought I remembered it being like a fucking like a paste or a yogurt. But I don't think it shows it.
No, he never like opens it.
Yeah.
It's just like.
I guess I just assumed.
Or I think he throws it at him and it does.
I thought he did, but I don't think it. I don't think it. It shows anything.
Yeah.
But that was funny.
Yeah, no, but that movie is unintentionally horrifying because like. The whole point is that this troll like grows out of a tree, is all like snotty
he just
gross.
comes out of the ground, but he's growing more trolls with the kids' souls.
Right? Yeah,
turns
he's like
them into,
stealing that. Turns them into statues, steals their souls, and is like raise more trolls with their energy. It's like
right, and then he like morphs into even like grosser troll at the end, right?
Right? Yeah, he gets all like spiny and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was kind of grody for like a 6-year-old or something,
right.
you know, like. It was like the tree they picked for their tree fort turns out to be like the prison of the troll's spirit or something like that. You know,
pretty funny.
Yeah.
So let's go to some more news stories.
Yeah,
I found a few good ones.
Oh, all right. Let's hit them up.
Good isn't really bad. First one we'll deal with. This is so stupid. Like I can't believe that people like this even exist. But here we go. So. Obviously, there's all this stupid hoopla over the Confederate flag.
Yeah.
There's a couple things. There's one thing in the story that's even more disconcerting than the initial aspect. My computer's now frozen up and it won't scroll.
Is it still recording?
Yeah, I mean it's still recording, but the browser's being retarded and it doesn't want to scroll for me.
Yeah. Well, of course, the initial hoopla. What's so funny about this stuff is. Sometimes I think I'm weird for believing or giving it even the mildest credence to some conspiracy theories, but then sometimes it has to be something. Because, like, for example...
Oh, that was way too
fast. That, like, every news outlet...
all these major retailers and states...
pulled it within a few days of each other.
It was the same day, I think, for all the online, like Amazon, Walmart, eBay, all together. Like,
it's not conspiracy as if the Illuminati are talking to them and saying...
people conspiring to do something.
Just meaning that all of these people who run these companies obviously
talk to the other
talk
companies.
To somebody in the government or in the news media, and they hold a meeting and go, you know what, we think it would be wise if we all did this. You see that thing on Vox
where someone like, I don't put too much credence in it because he was talking to like this Indian customer service rep and not like an actual anyone from Amazon. Yeah. But he'd sent them a message and said, hey, I'm interested to see why the Confederate flags were pulled because he's still selling like Nazi memorabilia and like other sorts of groups it could be considered, you know, just as much offensive or whatever. Right. And not to try to get that shit pulled, but to say, hey, this is obviously just
you're doing it because it's weird exception. Yeah. You're doing it simply because it was in the news recently, not because you actually care.
Help desk person was basically like, oh, well, the government made it illegal or whatever, or said we had to do it, which I'm sure is based on their just inkling understanding,
right?
Of like
but
assuming that it had to be a law because in their country it probably
it's not a law, but obviously someone in the government or policy still makes a call,
right? Like
and says, hey, if you want like concessions from us in terms of like
we'll be very upset if large retailers, just stuff like that, like voluntold,
exactly.
But anyway, so after all that hoopla, we have this. It says, a shopper perusing the merchandise at the Redwood County Flea Market in Connecticut was so offended by a vendor selling Confederate Nazi historical memorabilia, the person actually called 911 and said that they were shaking and almost vomited.
Oh, God.
But that's ridiculous. But how should that story go from here? I'm asking you, how should the story? How should it proceed?
Cops should show up and say, "Sir, you just got to leave. If this is shaking you up this bad, you need to go."
And then they should charge them for using 911 for a fucking
Yeah, well then that's true. Then they probably get called.
Well, they shouldn't even show up. They should. I mean, they have to when they call 911 most times. That's
right. Then somebody goes out, but then they might actually be able to.
This is a non-emergency line.
They can either tell them just like, "Buddy, get out of here," or they could say, "Buddy, you made a what's the false alarm?" Or I can't remember the actual legal term for it, but yeah, when you do a intentionally wasting the time of the emergency services.
When he says, I was shaking and almost vomiting, I had to run. My grandmother had numbers, like I guess he was like the digits tattooed from concentration camp. But it's like, all right, so how old are you? And this is the first time you've come across like something with a
never read a history flag
or Nazi memorabilia.
Indiana Jones,
history movies.
Yeah, everybody's got to turn it into something like, I was visually...
The caller complained that the Confederate items were not authentic and were replicas of flags and weapons. It's like, so? Like, it's illegal.
Wait, so at first I was offended that they had them. Then I was offended that they weren't
I guess
authentic.
he's thinking that it's like illegal or something. He said the seller told him he was selling so much he can't keep it in stock. The president of the local NAACP was contacted to see what he thought. Quote, it's difficult. Well, just to see what he thought. It's difficult because it's on private property and it's considered free speech. Oh, that makes it difficult? I just wish there was some way we could...
That's one of those words. Problematic and difficult.
For whom is the question I say.
Oh, well, you know that's
for people
one of my
who want
trigger
to violate
words is when
rights.
people say
That's
problematic.
It's
problematic, meaning somebody has some of these rights that are getting in the way of me
what they really
making
mean
and
is
do
the
what I want.
Constitution's problematic.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
that's exactly what it means.
They want to control every aspect of your life, and they can't find a way to do it. Yeah.
Because there's laws in the way so far.
Yeah. But the worst part, it gets scarier in the way that the chief police said, I had to check with the chief over, or the mayor said, I had to check with the chief over what is actionable and what isn't. Unless something violates state or federal law, there's no jurisdiction for government to do anything. We had to ask, is it something controlled by law? And it's like, that's scary. This is the attitude. Instead of being like, shut the fuck up. Like, let this guy sell shit that you don't like.
You know this is not illegal. Get the fuck out of here. They go, we'll deeply investigate
shit. I mean, it's troublesome that this is legal. That's basically what they're saying. I wish there was something we could do.
This is always how it happens. They set up a lot of these stories so that they can make everybody seem like, yeah, I guess we should make a law.
That scared me. This is the line that scared me. This is the Joshua Sales. Who is he? Oh, the assistant director of the Anti-Defamation League.
Oh, of course.
Quote, it's unfortunate that under the law, people have the right to sell these things.
It's unfortunate that freedom exists.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
unfortunate that people can do something I don't like that doesn't actually hurt anybody.
That was one of
this guy's fucking tremors and his fucking liberal sensibilities.
And what's so funny to me is the people who think like that and say it's unfortunate that this law allows people to do things that I don't like do not realize that the exact flip side of that is that certain religious groups don't want gays to marry. You know what I mean? And they think that that's untoward. You know, like, hey...
Well, they don't see what they're doing.
Right, like, it's the same thing. It's both saying, like, oh, it's unfortunate that we don't have laws
to live by that, you have to die by it. Like, they're the first ones who complain about, like, Nigeria making it illegal to be gay or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, actually, people don't complain about that much. That's funny, because they actually don't care about Nigeria.
Well, I mean, but I'm saying that they think that's wrong. You know, the other, just the opposite side of it. The same use of government power, but it's against a cause that they are
right.
for.
Exactly. That's what it always comes down to.
And this is sort of related to that, but it goes back exactly to what we were talking about before about how immigration changes everything, but they're so short sighted. Where like in California, all the the white liberals who are the most stringent supporters of the immigration, aside from the illegal immigrants themselves,
right,
have been all about this like. What's it called? Assisted suicide. It's like a proposal that they're trying to pass.
Okay,
which I don't give a shit because I don't think it should be. See, I don't like saying things should be legal.
Right.
There's a difference between saying something should be authorized by the government, just saying the government should have nothing to do with it. I just think the government should have nothing to do with suicide. You're not hurting anyone else. Anything you should do to yourself or your body should be not the government's business. So whatever. So I don't care about that aspect of it. But so this is like their darling thing. Like the liberals all support this assisted suicide, the white liberals, but all the influx of like Catholic immigrants
don't
shut it down and like voted it down.
Yeah.
So they didn't get into like, oh shit. Oh, guess what? There's a bunch of people who don't believe the same things as you, and this is what we're saying.
That's probably also
regardless
why,
of what you
Prop 8 or whatever it was probably didn't get as much push in California. You would have thought California would have voted it in right away. And it was because all the immigrants, Catholic background, traditional family ideas were like, no.
And just a lot of non-white Americans too. Mm-hmm. Like it's not like gay marriage doesn't have anywhere near the support among black people that it does among like liberals and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but anyways, regardless of the issue, it just shows you that oh my god, they don't believe the same things that we do. It changes the country, and even if you think that's a good way, it's still the point is that it changes
it. Yeah,
yeah.
You can't just imagine you're going to import all these people and then make them do what you want.
Or just that nothing's going to change.
Right. Yeah.
And then this is unrelated, but someone was arrested. Some woman was arrested for beating someone with a dildo in a domestic dispute.
What?
Yeah, it was funny because there was like they had an
no
injunction against like it was a lesbian couple.
Okay,
and they had the one party got a domestic violence like injunction, and so the cops had to be there while the woman like got the rest of her stuff.
Right,
because she couldn't be there by herself. With the woman because she had like a restraining order against her or something, and in the process of complaining over like who got what with some dress,
they started another fight.
Well, it said that the headline said like they beat her with a dildo. So I'm imagining like Lock, Stock, where he's like he grabbed a 16-inch black rubber cock and proceeded to bat Paul Smithee to death with it.
Right?
Like,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
exactly.
imagining.
Right? Yeah.
But she was like, it was really in the story. It said she was like, "Oh, is this you?" And like poked her in the face with it. And of course they arrested her because she touched her.
Well, it's still assault because
still
you jab somebody
with.
with.
Touch anyone when they don't want it. It's technically
That's
assault.
another
unless
problem
the cops
with-
do it. But
Right?
that's
Yeah,
another
exactly.
issue.
Unless the cops do it. Like,
But anyway, so they arrested her. But what the most interesting part of the story is that they're like this woman, the one who was the dildoer, not the dildo-y, was the
new words being invented.
the one who was the mushroom stamper,
Right.
not the stampy. Was it was like used to be in apartments of correction officers until they were arrested and served 3 years for drug trafficking charges. After, well, I mean, I don't care, whatever. After, but it said after 24 kilos of coke were found in their car.
Oh, and they
I
would
was like,
never get out if they were not a
That's-
corrections officer.
well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I mean, corrections officers aren't even really cops. They're just they at the prisons. And
they-
stuff.
they're
They're law enforcement
deputies.
officers,
They're
but it's not necessarily the same thing.
Typically,
as
they're
police.
county deputies because the prisons are typically county
It's
systems.
different. The Department of Corrections. I mean, the jails are run by, but like the corrections officers
Right,
are
but
not
they're
deputies.
law officers.
Yeah, they're law enforcement officers, but they don't carry guns even.
No, but I mean, like you trained and operate under color of law.
Yeah, but the point is, I was like, that must be a typo. There's no way anyone would get out of prison in 3 years after having 24 kilos. That's like millions and millions of dollars
Yeah.
worth of drugs.
Muling it for like some
Yeah.
drug lord in prison.
Like
there,
that's a serious cartel type shipment, man.
Mhm.
Like I think that must have been a typo. But even like 2.5 kilos would be a
2.4 kilos
That's
is
like
still
100, like
thousands of dollars,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the market price for.
I mean, you buy it in grams. So
yeah,
it's
exactly. I don't know what the
expensive.
market price for kilos of
If the movies are
cocaine
to
is
believe,
right
a
now.
kilo's got to be at least 50 grand or 30,
Right.
30 grand or something like that. Anyways, a kilo's in the tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
So even two of them would be
it's
crazy.
gonna pay most people's bills for
What's,
the year.
my point is, it's going to bump up over any of their like distribution threscholds for
Right,
charges
yeah.
being like
usually
through
it's
the
if you
roof.
get a couple of ounces of even marijuana, you're
Yeah.
considered a dealer.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
you're,
exactly.
you're in distribution range, and it goes to federal.
So you're talking about
prison.
like a trunk full, packed full of.
Right.
I mean, you're talking like 75 pounds. No, wait, what is 24 keys? It'd be 50 pounds plus an extra 10 pounds. So, no. It's 2.2.
Yeah.
So 2 times would be 50. It's just over 50 pounds. That's a lot.
Still.
It's like a big sack of
Right.
it.
Like most people, you know, you could do curls with that and get like a good swole on, you know, like start.
People can't curl 50 pounds.
Well, that's what I'm
One
saying.
arm.
You're like one arm curls with that would be impossible for most people, and this is
Yeah.
a.
I could probably get one.
Right, yeah.
Actually, I'm sure I could do 50 pounds. I can do 40s for a
Yeah.
few. So 50 would probably happen once.
Regardless,
Anyways,
the point
it's
is,
a shitload
it's a
of
lot
coke.
of
Yeah.
fucking coke. It's enough to wear out your sinuses. Let me tell you that.
Exactly.
Man, so she
So that was
and then
it.
she was back home, and then got
This was
some.
in the back in like the 90s. It said it was just on her record, but
Jeez,
they just happened.
the freewheeling '90s.
They just happened- yeah, maybe that's what it was. It wasn't a big deal yet.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you and your 50 pounds of cocaine.
Right? Everybody's dealing a little cocaine in the prisons these days.
Yeah, exactly. 50 pounds.
Going to their Boy George concerts or whatever.
50 pounds.
That's a little bit late. But
24 kilo. I think it's like a typo or something.
God, or maybe not. I don't know. There's all
It's
kinds
just an
of
absurd
ridiculous
amount.
stuff like that because they worked for
I mean,
the
there's
legal
people
department.
spending life in prison for a shitload
Right,
less
but there
than
is so many times where because they were cops or
That's
whatever, they just
true.
got off with
corrections officers.
slap on the wrist kind of thing because they worked for the state.
Yeah.
You know, the state doesn't
Absurd.
prosecute its own nearly as much as it prosecutes.
Wild stuff.
Yeah.
And then dildo assault for the next. It should probably spend more time in prison for dildo battery than
Right, yeah.
Not really, not 3
not
years.
as right, yeah. Not 3 years, but it might actually be
Yeah.
more of a legal hassle to deal with that than with freaking
Right.
cocaine smuggling.
But seriously, even as a cop in that situation, I would not. I'd be like another one of those, and we're taking you. And like I would just be like, all right, that's it, and cuff them. Like, who is that helping? Unless the
Yeah.
person wants to press charges, and you're like, all right, we already have an injunction against him. Now you're fucking stupid and touched him.
Right.
But
yeah.
like, aside from that, they just like itching
Yeah, the whole-
to arrest people.
the
throw
whole
people in
super
the system.
zero tolerance policy and everything
It
is
doesn't
just
help
retarded.
anything.
No.
You should
All
have
it does is
grabbed them and
overburden-
swat out of their hand and be like, do that, like, cut it out. Get your
Right.
shit and get out of here.
Right, yeah,
and just
exactly.
like gone on with everyone's lives. Like that
Right,
doesn't
yeah.
help anyone.
Well, that's kind of what's
The
funny.
injunction's
It's like-
there to protect people. You're standing with the cop. It's not going to hurt them.
It's gone too far the other way now. Like, it used to be that the cops would kind of maybe, you know, like, just be like, grab you if you were drunk on the street, throw you in the drunk tank. You slept it off, then you went home, and that was it. Right. You probably didn't even get charged, right?
A lot of times.
They probably just looked at you and said, I could charge you, but shape up, and threw you out. And then... And maybe they even, like, if you took a swing at them when you're drunk, they probably just socked you in the gut. You know, and then
they give you, like, oh, now you breathe on me. Like, oh, some spittle got on me. Now that's assaulting an officer.
Right, yeah. Like, they might have roughed you up in the past, but they charged you with less. Like, you know, your life was ruined less.
Yeah,
often,
exactly.
You know
now they're just way too willing to just completely ruin people's lives. Right. And they don't even do it they use the guise of, like, them being afraid, which is just a pathetic cop-out.
It's something... huge changed in the way they're trained and told to do their jobs, you know, like,
and if it's made them like these cowardly, like, oh my god, I have to fear
on the first
safety.
instance
shooting
of anything,
anytime they see a dog, just kill it.
Right, yeah.
Anytime anyone does anything, they're like draw down
slightly
on
that
them.
cuts onto the law, like might qualify arrested.
They have no chance, like no choice. Like, well, I mean, I just know that, like,
well, it's possible. That's what I'm saying. Like, unfortunately, they probably just are given a lot less discretion these days, like by their superiors. But that still doesn't make it okay. No, I'm just saying it's the whole power struggle. Not struggle, power structure is focused on this zero tolerance idea now.
Yeah, in the wrong ways.
In the wrong ways, not
zero
tolerance about like
for violating freedoms.
Right? Yeah, zero tolerance isn't like you murdered all these people. We are going to convict you, and you are going to get executed. No, it's like we're going to convict you, and then you'll probably get out in 5 years.
Pop star in the shape of a gun,
right? Yeah, but if you say the wrong thing, we'll jail you forever. But if you actually like murder people and sell drugs, you'll probably get out because your lawyer's okay. You know. Like, oh, come on.
What's more funny stuff?
Yeah.
Need more good.
What, you mean the collapse of our society isn't righteous and humorous to you? The moral decrepitude of our legal system does not fill you with mirth?
Not with the stuff I've experienced. So, yeah, that's about it. Oh, it is fun to go on the one fun thing about Facebook, and it's fun and sad at the same time, is seeing all the people from high school like just completely just falling apart after like 10 years.
What do you mean?
Just like fatness, rampant obesity, just like bleh. Everyone's like blobbing out.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I've avoided most of the people I know that I've kept in touch with from high school.
Well, not people I keep in touch with. I just see them on.
Oh, okay.
Someone
people
like, whoa,
yeah,
whoa,
yeah. Holy shit!
Like I've been steadily increasing. I mean, there's been like a few dips, I guess, on the graph, but I mean, I've been a steady climb upward in terms of like fitness,
right?
You know what I mean, and strength.
Most people just don't do anything, though. You know?
Yeah, well, they do a lot. It's just nothing of it's fitness related.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They don't do anything related to fitness. You know,
but I don't understand when people like that, like Ham Planet status, like that would be my only goal when I would wake up in the morning. Would be like to not be this fucking.
What's
gross.
so crazy to me about? I know that people's body chemistries are different. Some people it comes much easier.
Oh,
some
absolutely.
People much harder.
I know for a fact that people could eat the diet that we do, and which is not like awful, but let's eat that many calories and be overweight.
Well, that's the thing I don't quite get because like really, like I can understand just eating too much and then it being hard to work it off because you just you're not the kind of person. It packs on easy, it comes off hard.
Yeah.
But I don't quite understand. Like I've just never been in a situation where like the one I guess I don't understand is like the poor fat.
Yeah.
When I'm poor, I don't fucking eat. You know what I mean? Like I just can't eat.
Always said, who I trained with, he was always just like, I'm on the poverty diet.
Right? Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm poor to get fat.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's what people bitch about, and this is a totally
now, I understand
bogus.
You buy crappier food when you're poor. Like you eat out and all that fast food stuff.
That's not take. I mean, they do that.
It's told.
But the idea that it's cheaper to do that is complete horseshit. And I challenge.
It is actually cheaper to buy rice and beans.
Exactly.
And
like
chicken.
the good, the really enjoyable, healthy food is expensive.
Right.
Like you're gonna get salmon, you're gonna get a lot of steak and fresh vegetables, but then you have like obviously you can get extremely healthy food for less than fucking corn dogs and hot pockets and shit.
It's just
you can buy a 50-pound bag of rice at Sam's. A 50-pound bag is like $17 right now.
Yeah.
$17 for a 50-pound bag.
How many people can you feed off of that?
Yeah, I mean it's over 80,000 calories in a 50-pound bag of rice. So I mean,
really, what it is just it's difficult to make. And I admit it. Like I don't cook my own food as much as I should.
Eggs are like $2.
Right, but I'm just saying,
rice,
like in general,
canned goods.
With the convenience and the pace of modern life, you tend to just grab stuff on the go.
But then the argument is, the argument is then I don't want or I don't like. It's not I can't.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It is
when
when
you get down to it. That's the bottom line. I say, yeah, but I don't like. Or, yeah, but I don't want. And it's like, well,
no, I still think
I wish I could do anything that I wanted.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
Bad
I still think they should probably do something. I don't know how you would do it without it being just a government overreach thing, but there should be something like this. Some of this food just should not be sold as it is.
It's not food.
It's not food. Exactly.
I like one of the guys I was reading. I think it's Hawaiian Libertarian. He was like, he doesn't call it food. He calls it feed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
because it's the same principle as feeding cows. Like that's what's funny is that people don't realize that they figured this shit out for fattening animals.
Yeah.
And then it turns out they're using the same mixture of stuff in our food.
Right.
And they're probably not doing it to fatten us as some part of conspiracy
they're doing it because it sells.
But they're doing it because it sells, because that sensation makes you think it's more addictive than actually being healthily satiated.
These are dietary. I don't know what the word you would use is like
rarities, like the sugars,
sugars and salts and those.
So they spike your insulin and they
in the wild. You never really get them, but you still need them. So your body is designed to want them because you do need it. And if it didn't want them, you would never get any because you'd have to.
It's designed to want them enough that you would go search out fruits and more difficult to find foods,
or just get a varied diet.
A varied diet, exactly. Make you keep hunting for food.
But now, when that's anything you want is available to you, you can't just eat whatever your body says it wants.
Right.
Especially because once you start eating them,
trained wrong,
and then you'll get the carb, the hunger you get from when you're used to carbs is way worse and different actually than if you're eating not even paleo, but just a regular
traditional meat and vegetable diet,
right, just one ingredient foods. That's the bottom line. If I say anyone because you can make arguments for paleo, you could make arguments for vegetarian.
I don't care about any of that
if
stuff.
You say
I just want to go to the store
on YouTube.
Yeah,
he's a workout guy, but he's always on just general health and dietary stuff. He's like, just eat stuff that has one ingredient.
Right. When I go to the store and I get sausages,
meat.
I want it to say pork,
right,
pork casings, spices, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to say and corn syrup solids or whatever else is in there.
It's garbage how much corn syrup is in.
Like everything has this, you go to get yogurt and it's got this block and it's like, why doesn't it just say yogurt?
Right.
Why does it just say cultured yogurt? You know,
some of them do. You just have to
some of them do, but you have to buy them
because even ketchup now, it should just be tomatoes and vinegar and salt.
Right, and whatever special blend of spices.
And maybe a little bit of real sugar.
Right. Well, I mean, they use a mix of spices, but now it's all this. You got chemical names in there. Corn syrup and chemical names.
Of preservatives, and I'm like, this stuff was made to be preserved that way, like pickles and shit. The
reason
they have pickles is because
you don't need to put embalming fluid in pickle juice. It's already pickles, so you don't need this artificial crap.
So that's what if anyone wants any advice, just eat things with one ingredient.
But what's scary about that's what I'm saying. I'm not a huge dietary stickler or anything like that. This kind of diet, that kind of diet. It's just that if you go to McDonald's, if you even go to a grocery store and try to get real food, like you said, you start reading the backs of stuff.
Yeah.
It is impossible to find hot dogs that are just meat.
It's not impossible, but it's expensive.
It's rare.
Yeah.
It's rare. It's not even that it's more expensive necessarily. Sometimes I go to certain stores.
They certainly are more expensive than the cheap, the Bar S hot dogs.
Right, yeah.
But they're not some outrageous
No,
price.
but let's say, I'm going to go...
Honestly, I don't even think they're more expensive to make. It's just no one cares.
Right.
And they are a little bit more expensive.
They're a little bit more expensive to make simply because it's more real stuff in there. They can't put filler. But I think mostly the price increase is because it's a boutique item.
Right. It's just a low
If the industry was made... If the industry was reworked such that these factories primarily pumped out just straight normal food with less of this artificial filler stuff, it wouldn't cost as much.
Because one of the guys, Roosh, I think it was talking about how in the other countries, the chicken, if you bought raw chicken, it would start smelling after a couple days. And here is the chicken that's never stunk. I don't know what the fuck they do to it.
Right, yeah.
But it's weirding me out.
No, I saw a thing on
it's
some video where they take the chicken and they have a needle gun and they inject it with water and stuff. So even raw chicken,
they put filler.
They pump them up to make it look
bigger and be
and
heavier.
so even you think, it's just chicken at the butcher shop.
It's everything's a scam.
Because
even though water's not bad for you, you're getting less actual meat than you should be.
Exactly. You're paying for the water weight, if nothing else.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. It's soaking down the cardboard before you take it to the recycle place.
Right, yeah, exactly. You're paying by the pound, right, yeah. You're paying by the pound with this meat, and some of that pound is extra water. They inject it into
juiced into it.
Yeah,
and they say it's to try to make it look nice.
Right, but still, that's the whole reason I thought the FDA existed was to prevent this kind of stuff. That's the thing that I do want the government to do, but the problem is...
That's the hard line to walk, or to determine where it should be, because you obviously don't want blatant deception. But you don't want things like if someone wants water in their chicken, then I don't think that should be illegal.
Right, but
I just think there should be transparency.
Things that transparency. Like it says, water injected chicken on the label.
Yeah.
And of course, companies would stop doing it because they know the term water injected chicken would make people be like,
well, they do it and then I mean, people just get used to it to where it doesn't even matter anymore. Like people know that it has corn syrup in it, they just don't care because it's cheaper and.
Right. But I mean, like,
shit, man.
The problem is for me, it's that kind of stuff where like there's all kinds of things.
I instead of that. Actually, I just wish there was a way to mark the opposite. Like, mark me the one that for sure has none of that shit done to it.
Yeah.
So I don't have to figure out what water injected means or one that's
and
that's what actually Jack
Spirko
of the Survival Podcast is trying to come up with. Because even the terms like organic...
It doesn't mean anything anymore.
I mean, it means specific things that are just not that meaningful.
Right.
It has a definition.
It has a definition, but it's not that meaningful.
It doesn't have to be what people think.
Right.
And
what
so
people
he's
think
come
when
up
they
with
mean
a term,
organic is unaltered, original style,
he's come up with this
natural.
thing called like agri-true, and it has like certain levels that are very clearly defined. Yeah. And like the top being like literally, if you just like marched out in the woods 100 years ago, plucked this thing, like that is a level of like
unmessed around
unmitigated. Yeah, just unmessed.
Yeah, like honestly, I thought like if I ever had money and decided I wanted to be a restaurateur, I'd want to create some place and I'd probably just call it, you know, like RFF something, like real fucking food is the name of it. And like all of it is that like the menu changes, it's just whatever I can buy natural there is going to be there, and it's just going to be, and it's not like, oh yeah, buy local, buy organic. No, just I just don't want it fucked with.
Right.
I want to get a chicken that's just a chicken.
Right.
And then I want to cook that chicken with a lot of spices.
And
it may have plenty.
Supposed to eat. And
right. Yeah.
The problem is that I think also is that food shouldn't be subsidized by the government. So it's more cheap. A lot of it's cheaper than like the corn syrup stuff is way cheaper than it should be because corn.
And that's why it's in everything because they can sell it.
And
so
also,
cheap.
Food would just necessarily have to be more expensive, but it shouldn't be a big deal because like everyone is instead buying whatever they want and paying $500 a month or something absurd for food when like. It should probably cost $500 a month for food to just get like what you need, and then everything else should be cheaper because like the government's not messing with it. Like, I think food would have just like the internet. It should probably be more expensive than it is to really get what we want without the interference and worrying about like bandwidth choking and everything, which is fine if you get the real thing. Right. You know what I mean? And
That's
I'm willing
exactly
to pay
what
this is actually worth.
I just want the real thing. Like, so much of our society in general is all about. They make you think you're getting the real thing, but they're hiding something from you.
So if they had more local, less factory farm stuff, it would be more expensive, but there'd be more of it. There'd be less waste, you know, and it'd just be a better system. You wouldn't be
overall,
transporting
it probably would help
miles.
with jobs and stuff like that, because the problem with too much of this, too much mechanization, like one farm that feeds the whole country.
And I don't think there's anything that should be like legally controlled about that, but it's just they have incentives that are
skewing the market.
Like incentives for nonprofits are skewing the way certain industries work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the thrift stores and stuff.
Right, yeah,
The industry would be totally different for the private ones if there weren't these subsidies for the...
Right, for the nonprofit
there's not direct subsidies, but there's tax breaks, which are the same thing.
Right, and in a low-margin industry like that, it's important.
Exactly.
Those tax breaks can make or break you in a low-margin, like, resale industry.
Yeah, exactly. Or just the ability to get people to bring their stuff to them.
Right, and nothing else. Like, saying you're for a charity like Goodwill just drives traffic that you don't get otherwise.
No, I mean, because the people get a tax break from donating the stuff.
Right, well, that too, yeah. Like, so, you know...
So there's incentives to give it to them
instead of them having to spend money to buy it off these people.
Yeah, exactly. When other private businesses would.
Have the government essentially buy it off these people for you.
Yeah, which is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the government's paying you for it.
Right.
And there's still certain people that would just donate for the cause, and that's fine.
Right.
Do your thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But it happens anyway.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily need to be there in terms of a legal structure like that. But then again, I think most of those taxes should not be there anyway.
Right. Most of the taxes should be there. Right. And then you would
just
need
some sort of sales tax or some sort of flat
break.
Tax or something straightforward, and just stop dicking around with all these complicated loopholes and exemptions for this class or that company or this.
Right.
You know, because you're doing wetland funding with your oil structure or whatever thing, then this one gets it because you knew the right guy. You know, you held the right cock and balls at the meeting of Congress. You know, you get a tax break for your company. You know.
So I'd like, if I did win the lottery like hundreds of millions, I would definitely make a company that, even if it didn't really make a lot of money, was just like everything is just unadulterated.
Right,
like if you knew, like, no matter what, I just go to this company, almost like, I don't know, Newman's Own or something like that, where he says, like, you know that, like, if this is just like a fucking chicken, it's just a chicken that was raised the way chickens do in the wild, just in a controlled situation so they don't run away.
Right,
you know
exactly.
And,
we're not doing weird shit to, like, we're make sure they don't get sunlight.
We don't care if it looks good. We don't care if it taste better. It's just,
Right,
this
yeah.
is for the people who want it. That's what it's going to be. And it would be a small, because most people don't want that. They're used to the complete uniformity of look and taste and everything.
Right,
that
yeah,
most stuff,
exactly.
modern factory farm stuff is. Like, they don't want the browning of the fruit. And like,
Right.
like even the fucking dried apricots, they control the color in them.
Right,
They
yeah,
put
there's
sulfurs
injected
in it.
stuff
like, if
in
you,
there.
like, Ward's locally has the ones, and they look gross. They taste fucking the same. In fact,
Tastes
they probably taste
identical.
better.
They taste a little
they
better,
just look,
honestly.
They look brown and withered.
Right, but I mean, I remember I used to have problems with dried fruit as a kid because the sulfur would set off asthma.
Yeah,
and it'd be like, and it's and like, why does dried fruit make me sick? Because there's sulfur in there. There's like the Satan gas, like the stuff that they say
it's
helps.
just so stupid. Like people just,
smells like.
One person's like, "Hey, now look at these. They're bright looking instead of the gross looking." And it's
Right,
just
yeah.
like, "Oh, come on."
Right,
and now then it becomes a status quo because then all of a sudden then people get used to it and don't want to buy the ones that
Right.
just look worse.
Yeah, that's the downside to democracy in general is that you can
honestly,
sway
if
the
I was
masses
rich,
of
even if
stupid.
it wasn't like a company, I would make it a company just for like the tax breaks. But I would just make like a couple farms that had enough to get me my food,
Right,
and
yeah,
then
exactly.
and then sell it to whatever other rich people who wanted pure stuff, and then just break even would be fine.
And what's scary about it though is like anytime those little like farm
They get, like,
co-ops
raided
do it,
and shit.
get raided for having raw milk and
yeah,
shit. Like
the most ridiculous shit.
that's what
I've
goes
ever
to show you
heard.
that everything's cartels at this point. Everything is
Well,
some
it's oligarchies.
exactly. It's all some
What's the
cartel / oligarchy. It's the same thing. It's basically a conglomeration of people who collude together to make sure they
Yeah,
stay
like
in monopoly.
Monsanto suing people when for stealing their intellectual property of the genetic hybrid that they use because the bees pollinate.
Yeah,
and it's
the
like,
fuck?
yeah, like this is absurd.
This is patently absurd.
Yeah.
Like a bee cross-pollinated and you're suing me because I didn't
Yeah.
control all the bees.
yeah.
Like-
and now I'm like quote unquote using your
Right, yeah. Like the courts should have thrown that out immediately, but they don't because they're the powerful people.
Yeah, and they get like rotating back through the ring. Like now the FDA people, like someone who worked at Monsanto.
Yeah, exactly.
It's absurd.
It's absurd. It's stupidity.
Ridiculous.
Well, we got to find more humorous.
Well, I gotta
topics
get
moving.
going anyway. It's
Yeah.
about that
Well,
time.
on that,
we're at 50 minutes. So
Dour
it's
note.
good. Yeah, everything's fake.
Everything's fake. Nothing's real, and it ain't just the food. But that's
Yeah,
all we
life
got
sucks and
today.
then you die. What do you
Right?
want?
Yeah. Even the titties are fake now. Although those
Okay
are
with that.
Right,
Yeah. I consider them augmented. not
right. Yeah.
fake.
Exactly. Yeah. Enhance.
Enhance. All right, that's it for this week, guys.
All right, go to englishenglish.net and check us out on YouTube and iTunes. Subscribe and like there on iTunes and SoundCloud.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Adios.
Bye.